Razorbacks. Former Arkansas quarterback Madden Iamaleava transferred to UCLA earlier this week. This is, of course, after flipping from UCLA to Arkansas during December's signing window. So what happens with that NIL contract he signed a few months ago? Well, Arkansas Director of Athletics Hunter Yurachek posted this on X. I'll read you the first part. Quote, "I've spoken with the leadership team at Arkansas Edge, which is their collective, and expressed my support in their pursuit to enforce their rights under any agreement violated by our student athletes moving forward." So essentially, the athletic director is telling the collective to, well, collect from prospects who violate those NIL contracts. For a little bit of a closer look, let's hear from Trey Biddy from Hog Sports.
I think the message from Hunter Yurachek was just as much intended for fans and those who support the NIL collective Arkansas Edge as anything as a way of saying, hey, we're not just going to sit idly by with your donations and your support and allow this kind of stuff to happen. Obviously, the message to the Iamaleavas is give it back. I do think he could have been a little bit more clear instead of saying moving forward, because it's my understanding that all this type of language, buyouts and such, are already in Arkansas NIL contracts. There's also the question of whether or not it's enforceable in court of law. There's other gray areas, I would think. I watched 14 practices this spring, all 14, 28 hours worth. It doesn't take that long to recognize that this kid is a special talent. And in my opinion, was going to be the starting quarterback at Arkansas after Taylor Green was done with eligibility in 2025. It's investment that took away reps from Blake Boda, from Grayson Wilson, from KJ Jackson, quarterbacks that are now worse off than they would have been had Iamaleava never come to Arkansas. So there's that aspect of it too. But this is the world of college football that we're in as well. It's been great for the elite guys out there. There's some pushback that we're seeing now, but for college players on the whole, it's been a bad system. The guy that keeps his nose clean, that makes good grades, great locker room guy, ends up walking on senior day. That guy doesn't exist in college football because they're all being processed across the country right now. So this is the system. I'm not breaking any news that this whole thing is bad for college football.
Yes, fantastic perspective there from our friend Trey Biddy. I love that he said that Yurachek coming out, this was just as much a message to the fans about where their money is going as it was to the Iamaleava family to, as he said, give it back. So what's the big picture significance of this latest development with the Iamaleava family?
It just looks good for Arkansas. They're just jumping out and saying, you know what, we made a bad decision in terms of giving maybe some money up front, and now we're trying to ask for it back. Coop, you and I both know that money ain't coming back. That money's been spent a long time, and they're just burnt. And for the next person that wants to attempt this, understand that we might be able to ask for this back. But other than that, Coop, everyone's doing this. No one's asking Caden Proctor back for the money from Iowa or every other person or player that's gone into the portal in December and jumped out in the spring. It just looks like they're kind of pissed off at this family, and they want to make sure that they never do this again.
It's kind of fascinating to see the way Josh Heupel, Tennessee, handled this and what they did and the public support from other college football staffers around the nation. And then you think about Arkansas and the AD getting involved and sending a clear message, like Trey said, to the fan base saying, hey, this is not a sunk cost. We need you to continue to support our NIL fund. I think the biggest thing when you talk to general managers around college football right now, it's more about, hey, how can we protect ourselves in this highly transactional world? And now with revenue share coming this summer, I think this is one of those things. Obviously, everything's kind of being hashed out right now, what that's going to look like. But how can programs protect themselves from this constant player movement? And I think this is another example where you're trying to really get some political and perceptional cachet.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I'm glad that you compared it to the Josh Heupel situation, because it is kind of two examples of maybe the university or somebody who represents the university, like a Josh Heupel, kind of biting back at you can't just freely move. We're going to hold you accountable to a certain extent.